people to attack. However, Tik-Tik points out that if the slaves join them, there'll be much more. When night falls, Dley and Nakudu sneak into the caged building to check on the slaves. While Nakudu reunites with his son, Dley asks Baku about Evelet, only to learn the women are in a different building. Then Dley apologizes to Karen for getting him caught, but Karen is a believer in the prophecy and swears to follow Dley to the end. A slave from another tribe protests Dley's presence here because he'll get everyone in trouble, and he doesn't care how many spears he has since weapons can't kill a god. Nakudu tells him that Dley has powers that allow him to speak to the tigers, and the slaves immediately introduce him to a blind man that they keep hidden underground. This blind man used to be servant to a god that ran away and knows that what the god fears the most is the mark of the hunter, which represents the brightest star of the heavens. If Dley doesn't have the mark, he can't kill the Almighty. At that moment, they hear the guards approaching, so Dley and Nakudu need to leave. First though, Dley asks the blind man about his bracelet, which looks familiar. It turns out his father had been the one to save the blind man's life, but sadly he's now dead. Then Nakudu and Dley run back to their army, only to discover a few guards have followed them. The tribesmen get ready to fight, but Tik-Tik shows up first and fights them alone. He takes all of them down with masterful skill, but one of the guards only pretends to be dead and stabs Tik-Tik when he turns around. Dley rushes to Tik-Tik's side, telling him he needs him because the slaves won't fight with him since they have their own prophecy. Tik-Tik reminds him prophecies have many faces, then he hands Dley the white spear before dying. In the meantime, Evelet is taken to Warlord's chamber so he can take advantage of her tonight. Evelet carefully steals his sword, but before she can defend herself, they're interrupted by the priests and the guards, who immediately arrest Warlord for stealing a slave from the Almighty. It turns out One Eye is tattled on Warlord as his revenge. Then the priests take the sword from Evelet's hand and discover the scars form the mark of the hunter. The priests inform this to the Almighty, who gets furious at the news. Back to Dley, he buries Tik-Tik while Nakudu reminds him his father would have wanted him to be a good leader. Dley finally accepts the white spear and gives the tribes a great speech about working together to kill giants like they do to hunt mammoths.